Welcome to Florida's newest all-inclusive resort, where over the next 48 hours, we are going to show you everything this property has to offer. We're going to be dining at all the restaurants, sampling drinks at all the bars, lounging poolside and beachside, checking out the activities and entertainment, and giving you a tour of our room.
Now, the resort that we're referring to is the Voco Sandpiper, which just opened for business the second week of January 2026 after undergoing a $50 million renovation. And as of today, has only been open for about a week. Now, odds are you've probably never even heard of this resort because there's hardly any information about it online and there's almost no reviews on it.
We don't know what's on the menus at the restaurants and bars, what drinks are included or are an upcharge, whether it's going to be casual or more upscale, or if it's going to be similar to a Caribbean resort or something completely different, but we are about to find out.
Now make sure you stick around to the end of this video because after we explore this entire resort and take in everything it has to offer, we're going to let you know what we paid to stay here, whether or not we think it was worth the price, and how this resort compares to the many Caribbean all-inclusive resorts we've taken you to on this channel.
We just arrived here at Voco Sandpiper, and one thing that makes this all-inclusive resort different from the others we've been to is that if you live in the States, you do not need a passport to visit, and you can actually drive your car here, but it will cost you $15 per night to park on the property. Once you get parked or dropped off, you'll make your way to the lobby to check in, and we'll tell you how that process goes in just a few minutes.
Now, we just finished the check-in process and we already got a huge surprise, and I don't think this is going to be anywhere close to the experience we were expecting. Starting off with the fact that while the website advertised that there'd be at least 3 places here that we'd be able to have meals, we were informed that currently there is only one place serving meals, and that is the main buffet. Apparently the sports bar on the property does serve snacks between meal times, but it is definitely a disappointment that we're going to have to be eating all of our meals on the property at one single spot. But we're going to head over to the buffet next. We're really hoping the food is good since we're going to be eating every one of our meals there.
We just got done with a late lunch. I think we were there about 30 minutes before it closed, and that experience really put things into perspective for us. We anticipated that there wouldn't be too many people staying here since they did end up opening early, but it seems like we might be just one of a few paying customers here. They had not a lot to choose from on the buffet, but we were happy to find that they seemed to focus on quality because everything we tried was really good. Skylar especially enjoyed the pumpkin soup and the pork belly, and my favorites were the pesto pasta and the fried fish. We also really enjoyed the salad bar. Since it's pretty clear this is not going to be the experience we expected, I think we're going to take some time to unpack and walk around the property and try to figure out what it is we're actually going to be able to do here over the next couple of days.
So after unpacking our bags and taking some time to explore the property, we made our way down to the beach for sunset. And this beach isn't bad, but it obviously isn't comparable to the beautiful beaches we've taken you to at the all-inclusives in Punta Cana. And that's because Punta Cana is located on the Caribbean, whereas this resort is located on the St. Lucie River in Port St. Lucie, Florida. It's around 2 hours from Miami, 2 hours from Orlando, and 3 hours from our home in the Tampa Bay area.
This might not be the type of beach that we're used to, but it still is a beautiful sunset. After sunset, we did end up coming back to our room to change for dinner. Now, we had no idea what the dress code was like here, so we did bring some nicer clothes. I don't think they're gonna be enforcing any dress code just because there are so few people staying here, but we'll try to find out what the dress code actually is. We were just about to leave for dinner, and I realized that we actually have a really nice view of sunset from our balcony. We are on the 2nd floor in Building A. I think all of the rooms here either have a balcony or a patio, but not all of them have views of the river. Next, we'll see you at dinner.
So we arrived here at the buffet for dinner to find pretty much the same amount of people as were here for lunch. Once again, the selection on the buffet was limited. Some of the items were the same, such as the salad bar, the burger bar, the pizza, and also I was really happy to find that they once again have that delicious pumpkin soup. And some of the items were different. We were really happy to find there to be an Indian station. I'm not sure what the Indian food we got is, but it looks and smells amazing. Jamie, of course, had to get another piece of pizza. She also got this risotto and mushroom dish that looks really good, and she got a different type of fish tonight. As far as drinks go, they had a couple different types of beer and a few selections of wine to choose from. I ended up going with a white wine, and it's pretty decent.
We just got done with dinner and the service tonight was fantastic. We both really liked that chicken Indian dish. My second favorite item was that mushroom risotto, and Skylar's second favorite was the fish in the Cajun sauce. Out of all the things we tried tonight, there was only one thing that we probably wouldn't get again, and that was the other Indian dish, and we're not even sure what it was. Now I do have to talk about the pizza. The pizza chef at lunch told us not to sleep on the vegetarian pizza, and he was right. It's got a garlic sauce on it. It is really good, so you should definitely give it a try.
Now, I am not typically a huge dessert fan, but the dessert on the buffet tonight was fantastic. There are only 2 options to choose from, but the cheesecake was good. Must be good. And the tiramisu was one of the best I've ever had. Now, if this video experience is one of the best you've ever had, or at least better than average, be sure to click that hype button or that thumbs up button, because every time you do that, it helps this video reach a wider audience and helps us keep making more Florida content. Now, I think we're gonna go grab a nightcap from the bar, enjoy the live music, and then hit the hay, and we'll see you back in the morning. Good morning, guys. As you can probably see, we woke up to a pretty dreary day outside, but my attitude quickly shifted when we got to breakfast and learned that they're doing a Bloody Mary and mimosa bar. So I got a Bloody Mary coming, and we're excited to show you what's on the buffet for breakfast.
Oh, that sounds crunchy.
It's very thin, very crunchy. Flavor's good though. So the flavor of that sausage is really good. It does kind of seem like it's maybe been sitting out for a while, but I guess that's our own fault for showing up for breakfast over 2 hours after it opened. Hopefully tomorrow morning we'll get there closer to 7.
So the flavor on those mushrooms was pretty good, and the eggs are your standard scrambled eggs, but what we're most excited to try are these pastries because they keep them warm on the buffet. This is some sort of twist with chocolate inside. It's a little crunchy on the outside and soft in the middle. It's really good.
Now, I normally don't eat a huge breakfast, especially after a day like yesterday where we ate so much for lunch and dinner, but I do enjoy starting my day off with a good Bloody Mary, and I'm looking forward to trying this one. So that's not very thick, but it has really good tomato flavor. You can taste the lime quite a bit too. It's got a little bit of spice, and they definitely did not go light on the vodka. I like it.
Now that we're done with breakfast, we're gonna go show you the coffee shop, or I should say coffee window.
So we got our lattes from the coffee window, which is located right next to the Hideaway bar and the sports bar. I think this is actually the 3rd latte each of us have had, and everyone has been good. You can get normal milk lattes, but you can also get oat milk lattes, and we've actually both preferred those. They've been super creamy, and they do have several different flavors of syrup to choose from as well. Next, we're gonna give you a tour of our room.
I do like that they give you a wristband that serves as your key card, so you don't have to remember to grab your key everywhere you go. Welcome to room 208 in Building A. As soon as you walk in, there is a huge walk-in closet to your right. We didn't come anywhere close to utilizing all the storage space. Next to the closet is the bathroom with an old school sliding door. Now, compared to the rest of this room, this is kind of small, and the shower and tub area could use a little bit more love, but it gets better from here. Once you walk through the hallway, you get to the main living space, which is huge. We actually have 2 couches in here that a child or adult could actually sleep on, but we should mention they are pretty firm. Across from one of the couches is the phone, mini fridge, and coffee station, which we don't have much use for because we really do love that coffee shop and it opens at 6:45 in the morning. Next to that area is the TV. Under that, there's more storage, and in the corner, there's a table with 2 chairs. Across from the table is the king-size bed. We found it to be pretty firm, but did sleep in it pretty well. On either side of the bed, there are nightstands with drawers, as well as night lights, reading lights, and a charging strip with a variety of charging ports. And I should mention, we didn't find a safe in here or a ceiling fan.
Now that lack of a ceiling fan normally would be an issue for me because I do not sleep well without air movement, but fortunately we brought this fan. This is the Voco D2, you can pick it up on Amazon, and it's my new favorite Florida travel essential. It's got an adjustable stand with a built-in hook that allowed me to hang it above the bed last night, and with its surprisingly large 20,000 milliamp battery, I did not have to worry about this thing running out of juice because it can run non-stop on its highest setting for 15 hours. It really amazes me how a fan that's less than 2 inches thick can move so much air, but my favorite thing about this fan has to be how compact it is. It can easily slip inside a backpack or a beach bag. But even on an abnormally cool day like today, when you may not have use for a fan, this thing can still come in handy because you can actually use it to charge your phone and many other devices, plus it has a built-in light that can be useful at night. Now if you're interested in picking up one of these must-have Florida travel essentials for yourself, then head on over to Amazon by scanning the QR code on the screen or by clicking the link in the video description. We got to give a big thank you to Voco for sponsoring this video. Now it looks like the sun is trying to come out, so we're gonna go grab some lunch and then hopefully hit up the pools. We just finished up our second lunch at the buffet, and it was another good one. Jamie's favorite thing was the build your own slider. Mine was the calamari and the cream of mushroom soup, and I especially enjoyed them together. Now we did have one thing today that neither of us would try again, and that was the chicken dish. It was some sort of Asian chicken. It was overly sweet and also not crunchy at all, so we'd pass on that one, but overall it was a good lunch. Now unfortunately that sun only stayed out for a few minutes, and we also now have like 20-mile-per-hour winds, but we did still put our suits on and layered up. I think we're gonna go grab some drinks from the bar and hit the hot tub. Not sure we're gonna make it into the pools though.
The adults only pool and hot tub is right on the edge of the property along the river here. When you're walking here, you will pass by the water sports area where you can take out kayaks and paddleboards that are complimentary, but you can also rent jet skis and boat tours there as well. Now what we've heard is eventually this area will have a shipping container that will probably have food and drinks available, but right now if you want to drink out here, you do have to bring it all the way from the bar that's close to the lobby. And I forgot to mention that along the way here, there are a few covered spaces with some rocking chairs. They're a great place to relax and take in the view of the river.
Now getting back to the drinks, there are only actually 2 bars open on the property right now. The indoor one is kind of like a sports bar. They got a bunch of TVs and pool table and some other games in there. The outdoor one is right next to the sports bar, and that's been our go-to bar to get a drink. Currently, I think there's actually 1 bartender running both bars because there's so few people here. Now, as far as the drinks that come included in the price you pay to stay here at the resort, you do have a limited amount to choose from. For liquors, you just have the house liquors available for gin, rum, whiskey, vodka, and tequila. And then for beers, you have 2 types to choose from. One is Bud Light, and the other one is Narragansett, which lucky for me is actually a beer I love, so I haven't been minding having a limited selection to choose from at all. And I should also mention that they do have a selection of house wines. I think there's 3 or 4 to pick from. Now, if you do want to upgrade your cocktail to premium liquors or have some better quality craft beers, I think you can pay $4 to $6 to upgrade to those. So I decided to take one for the team and get in this pool just to show you what it looks like from in here. It kind of looks like a wave pool because it's so freaking windy out, and unsurprisingly, I am the only one in here because it is freezing. Now, thankfully, they do heat this pool, so as long as you're fully in the water, it's not that cold, but I definitely like it a lot better than the hot tub.
So after the hot tub, we came back to our room to change into dry clothes. When we were at the hot tub though, we met some of the other guests that are on property here. They're here on day passes. Right now, the property is offering 50% off, I think through January. So right now it's only $50 plus the taxes and fees. And you can stay here from 7 a.m. to 10 p.m. So you could have 3 meals here, have coffee, have access to the pools and all the other amenities, and unlimited drinks from the bar. But we should mention that right now, at least, it doesn't seem that they have lockers to store personal belongings, so they were having to bring their belongings with them.
We think $50 for that day pass is a great deal, and it sounds like the people who are actually here on the day pass thought so too. But something funny happened when we were talking to them. One of them asked the staff here if there were any guests who were actually spending the night, and the staff responded that they thought that there was one couple, and of course that couple is us. Now, we obviously knew that there were not many people on the property, but we had no idea that we were the only 2 overnight paying customers. But now that the sun's back out, I think we're gonna head back outside and show you a few more of the amenities here on the property.
We were about to walk out the door and somebody came in knocking, and we were kind of confused because housekeeping came in earlier today. They were bringing us these blankets because it's supposed to get under 40 tonight. According to the map they gave us when we checked in, buildings A, B, and F are open. We are staying in A. Earlier, we were way over here at the adults only infinity pool and hot tub. Right now, though, we're in this area by the fitness center.
Now, I wouldn't say that this gym is the most modern feeling, but it is quite spacious, and they do have a good variety of newer equipment, including Peloton bikes, other cardio machines, and a variety of weight machines and free weights.
This bright pink shipping container behind me is the future home of Lucie's, which will be another place where you can grab snacks and drinks during the day, and it steps away from the beach. We just came to the beach area, and this building back here is the Riverside Market. It's here on the map. This is where we've had all of our meals so far. As you can see, there's a bunch of areas blocked off on the map for things that are likely to come. We're thinking there's gonna be a sunset bar in this area because this structure right here sure looks like a bar to us. Eventually, you'll be able to follow this sidewalk to a heart-shaped terrace area. It looks really pretty, but they're not quite done with it. When renovations are complete, according to the map, you should be able to walk through that area to the marina. Now, the main pool is located next to Building A. It is beautiful, and next to that, eventually you will find a kids pool, but that's currently taped off. This block here is going to be the lobby when it's completed. Now, over here is where you'll find the current lobby, the coffee window, the outdoor bar, and the sports bar, so we're going to show that to you next.
Now, match point behind me is the sports bar on the property. They have an impressive amount of TVs. They have a lot of different games to choose from, including pool, foosball, golden tee, and the longest shuffleboard table we have ever seen. They also have snacks in there in between meal times, and it sounds like tonight it's gonna be where they have the live music, considering it's so cold out. Normally they have it right over here. Now, behind the Riverside Market is where you'll find the arcade on the property. They have a pretty good variety of video games, air hockey, claw machines, and other prize machines. I saw that one of those prize machines actually had an electric scooter in it that you could win. Now, all of these games do cost extra to play, but I think most of them are only $1 or $2. So we decided to come back up to our room because we wanted to watch sunset from our balcony, and by now the clouds have all pretty much cleared out, so it should be a decent one. Now, I did also want to mention that this is not the only all-inclusive here in Florida. There is another one down in Key Largo, and a few of you have suggested that we visit it, but it is quite expensive. That being said, if enough of you do want to see us go there, eventually we probably will. So let us know in the comments if that's something you do want to see. And of course, don't forget to subscribe to our channel and turn those notifications on if you don't want to miss that potential episode, as well as our other future Florida travels. Now we're going to enjoy this sunset, and then we'll meet back up with you for dinner.
So our dinner outfits tonight are much different. We're going for warmth versus style. And plus, we did talk to the staff last night, and it sounds like currently they don't really have an established dress code. There probably will be one in the future, but not right now. We think tonight's meal was the best one yet. There were so many delicious looking items on the buffet that neither of us even grabbed a piece of pizza, which we both absolutely love. We did have some standout items. My favorites were the tempura shrimp. It was crispy on the outside and soft in the middle, and the penne pasta. The sauce was really creamy, it was cheesy, and the pasta was cooked just right.
I think those two things were my favorite as well, but I would also add that the lamb from the carving station was really good. It was a little overcooked for my taste, but the gravy on top of it was delicious, and the flavor of the lamb was good too. And they also had mini corn dogs, which I loved as well. And I do also have to mention the dessert. They had a mixed berry shortcake, which was fantastic, especially the cream on top.
Good morning. It sure is brisk out here, but the wind has died down. The water on the river is so calm.
We have got a bright sunny day for our last day here at the resort, and while it has warmed up a little bit from the 40 degrees we woke up to, it is still way too cold for the pool, so once again the hot tub was calling our name. We started the day off with breakfast at the buffet, and while the selection was pretty much the same as yesterday, everything we tried was good. We did sample a couple of new things, and both the plain croissant and the smoothie were excellent.
So we do have to be out of our room by 11, but we can stay on the property until 3 p.m. and continue using the amenities, eat all the food, and drink all the drinks. So I think we're gonna hang out here in the hot tub, enjoy the views of the river for a little while, and then go over to the coffee shop where we'll kind of give you a recap of our experience here.
Now, in last week's glamping episode, we did give you some hints about where we'd be filming today. We had a lot of really good guesses, and we gotta shout out the first 3 of you who guessed correctly.
This week, the first to guess correctly was Rob Chapin 22, second was Really Rio 1, and third was Rico Caliente 6344. Thanks so much to everyone who guessed this week, and congratulations to all the winners.
Now, normally this is the time where we'd be giving you hints for our next destination on this channel, but the next time you see us is going to be on our January 31st live stream, so we'll be giving you those hints then. Also, if you have any questions or topics you'd like us to cover in that live stream, be sure to leave them in the comments.
We have checked out of our room. The sun is out, it's finally feeling like Florida, so instead of coffee, I went with a refresher and Skylar went with a peach Bellini.
Now, I do still have my sweatshirt on, but I also have my trunks and flip-flops on because I have not seen a single person get in that pool yet, and later on I'm hoping to change that.
We did want to let you all know what we paid for this experience, whether or not we thought it was worth it, and also how it compares to our other all-inclusive experiences in the Caribbean.
Yeah, we paid a total of around $680, and that includes taxes, fees, and parking. That comes out to about $340 per night and $170 per person per night. And I think we still have mixed feelings on whether or not that was actually worth it or not.
Yeah, overall, I think this wasn't the experience that we thought it was going to be from what was advertised on the website. There were a lot more things closed than we were expecting, but we absolutely loved the food. The service here was fantastic. We really enjoyed the coffee shop, and the pools and the grounds are beautiful.
Yeah, it was crazy having an all-inclusive resort pretty much all to ourselves, and as a result, the service, of course, was phenomenal. I don't think we'll ever get this type of service at an all-inclusive again. Now, $340 per night definitely is steep. I think it's the most we've ever paid to stay at an all-inclusive, but that being said, I think the price is probably only going to get higher as more of these amenities open up. Still though, it was really nice to be able to just hop in our car and drive over from the Tampa Bay area and not have to drive to an airport, fly to another country, and then get a transfer to the resort.
Now, when it comes to comparing this resort to our all-inclusive experiences in the Caribbean, that is really tough because we have not experienced this property anywhere near its full form. For example, when it comes to the food, we know that they will continue to expand the selection on the buffet. We talked to a staff member today who said they just got their ice cream machine in, and they're also going to be adding a few specialty restaurants, plus they'll be opening the shipping containers by the beach and the adults only area, so there will be a lot more selection in the future. When it comes to food quality, when I think about all of the meals we've had here, there was never an item that I looked at and thought, ooh, I should maybe stay away from that because I was worried about it getting me sick, but that has definitely happened at more than a few Dominican resorts.
Now, as far as the buffet experience goes, I do agree that the quality ranks pretty high compared to the average buffet experience we've had at Caribbean resorts. But as far as the selection goes, it just isn't there. I think there's probably 4 to 5 times the selection to choose from at the typical Caribbean resort. I also did kind of miss the a la carte restaurant experience. Typically, there's like 4 or 5, maybe even 6 restaurants to choose from at the Caribbean resorts where you can sit down and order off a menu, and that's a nice change of pace from the buffet. Eating every meal at the buffet here did get a little bit monotonous.
So Skylar just spotted this raccoon on the rocks. He's so cute. Not sure what he's looking for over there. Now, when it comes to the activities and entertainment, the Caribbean resorts have way more going on. Now, we did really enjoy the musicians here at night, but eventually during the day, they're gonna have more activities going on. I think there's gonna be a DJ at the pool. We saw trivia on the schedule, karaoke, cornhole, and other sports tournaments, but I don't foresee this property ever having parties like the ones we've experienced in the Caribbean.
Now, as far as the aesthetics of this resort go, the pools are absolutely beautiful. We do think they've done a really good job with the landscaping, but since it is new, it's just not that dense and lush yet. Now, this probably goes without saying, but the beach here is not even in the same realm as what you'll find at a beachfront resort in the Caribbean. I think they've done the best they could with what they have to work with, but this little beach on the river is definitely not going to compare to your Caribbean beaches. So if you're a beach person, this resort may not be for you. Now, of course, I do have to mention the alcohol that comes included here at this resort. I wasn't complaining because it does come with complimentary Bud Light and Narragansett, which is a beer that I love. But if you're more of a high-end drinker and prefer craft beers or premium quality liquors in your cocktails or fine wines, you do have to pay a little extra for that here, whereas at a lot of the Caribbean resorts we've been to, those do come included. But when it comes to coffee, I think the coffee here is as good or better than any coffee we've had in the Caribbean.
For what we paid for this experience, we could likely book a high-end experience in the Caribbean, and given that we don't mind flying, we're pretty easy to please when it comes to food, and we are beach people, we would likely spend our money in the Caribbean versus a place like this in most cases. But if you live in the States and you're somebody who doesn't like flying, maybe you don't have a passport, or you don't want to travel internationally, or you don't go anywhere without your four-legged friends, then this could be a really good fit for you.
So even though we probably wouldn't consider paying $340 to come back to this resort in its current state, we would at least consider coming back in the future when everything's complete, because we're going to be really curious to see what it's like then. Now, one thing we absolutely would recommend right now is considering that day pass. If you can get that for under $100, we think it's a great option for a zero-stress one-day getaway. Now, we only have a little bit of time left here at this resort, but even though it's still kind of chilly out, I think it's finally time to go get in that pool.
Skylar went to go get a towel and I dipped my toes in here, and the pool actually feels nice. Thanks for watching.